No food, no electricity.
I paid $2,500 for power. I'm still out of power 2 weeks later.
NIPSCO full of shit. They ain't did nothing for us.
I'm in Gary, Indiana, a majority black city where tens of thousands of people have been without power for 2 weeks following severe storms.
And I have never seen a storm so devastating in my entire life.
Residents in the region have been outraged with their power company, NIPSCO, Indiana's second largest utility power company that services 1.4 million Hoosiers.
After about day 3, a lot of us were getting worried. Okay, we pay our money, we pay our utility bills, but we have not heard from NIPSCO.
While infrastructure is being developed across the state to support its 125 data centers, somehow this working class community is struggling to get the basic utilities they need restored while having to pay higher rates than ever.
We probably saw like an increase of, I want to say like between 30 and 50% increase in our utility bills.
2 years ago, Blackstone, a private equity firm, bought a nearly 20% equity stake in NIPSCO, and rates have skyrocketed since.
My first NIPSCO bill was $450. My last NIPSCO bill was $2,500.
NIPSCO is almost like the price of our rent.
They're being very greedy, and our prices are very high, and we're not getting much service.
Why haven't we been made a priority to get our power back? Personally, I think data centers have been made the priority.
Gary is a working class city where the average income is less than $40,000, and it's located in the middle of Data Center Alley. NIPSCO's parent company, NESource, is creating a data center-only utility and throwing resources there. Meanwhile, the residents of Gary have been suffering.
In terms of rural areas that house a large black population, a large brown population, making sure that they have power is not exactly on the the list of priorities.
A community that lacks resources, that is a food desert at times, that lacks in the educational system, that lacks resources from government. Why isn't this getting the attention that it truly needs?
Well, guys, I've said it before, I'm going to say it again on this channel. Your local government is much more important than the national government. Okay, the federal government, make no mistake about it, is definitely important. But when it comes to your everyday lives, your local government is even more important. Because think of this, guys. You could actually live in a red state, okay? But if you live in a super blue city, chances are the crime is going to be out of control. I mean, all you need to do is look at a state like Tennessee. Tennessee is a deep red state. However, you have a city like Memphis where you can actually get shot to death. Yeah, I'm not making this up. And by the way, Memphis is mostly all black. Now, I'm going to say this again, folks. I do not want to live in a majority black city. I don't want to do it. Okay? And I'm pretty sure you guys listening, you guys may not say it. You don't want to live in a black city either. Because chances are it's going to be run by Democrats and crime is going to be out of control. I don't want to live in a black neighborhood because chances are crime is going to be out of control. Now, this actually brings us to Gary, Indiana. They were actually hit by a severe storm. And like 2 weeks later, Gary, Indiana, a lot of people are still without power. Okay. Now, Gary, Indiana, folks, is a majority black city. I'm talking about super majority, like 80%. That's actually the hometown of Michael Jackson and his family. And I found out, guys, that one of the reasons why Joe Jackson was so hard on his kids, having them singing all the time, is because he didn't want them on the streets in a crime-ridden city. And word is Michael Jackson actually made amends with his father because he understood where his father was actually coming from once he actually became a father himself. But anyway, I digress. Folks, you actually have the mayor going on Don Lemon's show and basically saying that it's racism as to the reason why the utility crews haven't been able to get the power back on. Now, keep in mind, folks, Gary, Indiana, 80% black. But for some kind of reason, guys, that's screaming basically white supremacy. You cannot make this up. This is why I say, folks, your local officials are more important than what's going on at the federal level. Let's go ahead and dive into this, guys. Here we go. Check this out. Mayor of crime-ridden Gary, Indiana, claims power outages are racist. Utility crews trying to make repairs was shot at. Yeah, the people actually trying to get the power back on, they were shot at. And I'm not even making this up, guys, because look right here. This post right here. Hoosier Inquirer says, here's the proof of a NIPSCO employee was shot at helping the lineman restore power in Gary, Indiana. So they're actually admitting, and NIPSCO is the utility provider out there. So they're saying this, but however, they're actually blaming the governor. Okay? They're saying Governor Braun refuses to enforce law and order in Gary, Indiana, and caved to the armed criminals. It's time to make him a one-term governor. Yeah, because they really want Democrats. But look right here. Look right here. This is apparently the vehicle they got shot at right here. And of course, you guys see the back glass is all blown out. There's a bullet hole right there. Yeah. But it's white supremacy, though, right? It's racism as to why the power is still out. Well, I'm sorry, guys. If I'm an employee of this utility company, I don't want to go and get shot at. I don't. That's the mayor there, by the way, of Gary, Indiana. Says here, as power restoration efforts continue in Gary, Indiana, with some homes going nearly 2 weeks without electricity following a severe storm, the city's mayor suggested during an appearance on Don Lemon's podcast that racism is to blame for the extended outages, with the city being majority black. Now, guys, I live in the Houston area, okay? Now, when was it, guys? Last year before? Hurricane Beryl hit, Category 1 hurricane, hit the Houston area, and people were without power for like 2 weeks. Now, I got lucky. I was only without power for a day, but people were without power for 2 weeks. I didn't hear anybody screaming racism at all. But of course, since Gary, Indiana is a majority black city and Houston is not, even though Houston does have a significant black population, it ain't Gary, Indiana, 80%. This is crazy right here. Look at this. Don Lemon and Gary, Indiana Mayor Eddie Melton believe racism is the cause of the city having its power shut off for nearly 2 weeks after a heavy storm. Listen into this garbage.
This is, to me, it feels like neglect. Do you think that some of that neglect comes from or is happening, if you feel that way? It may be in part because Gary is a black working class city.
100%. I believe a couple things are at play here. During the middle of the restoration process, the utility company, and full transparency, 15 years, I worked for that company, so I know about the process. They were releasing the updates of restoration, and Gary was not listed on that restoration list. Gary is the largest geographic footprint of a city that we have, not population-wise, but geographic footprint. And that was the moment that the extreme frustration came out from the public, because it would appear that we're being forgotten when you don't list out the actual restoration time frame. So that's where all of the mayhem really started to get triggered on the ground level.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. But when Hurricane Beryl hit the Houston area and people were without power for 2 weeks, nobody was screaming racism. But only because this is a super majority black city, they must scream racism. And he agrees with Don Lemon. This is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Says here on August 11th, a powerful storm blew through the area, cutting power to more than 300,000 residents in the area. The storm was classified as a derecho, a powerful thunderstorm with high winds, with Gary experiencing 99 mile per hour winds from the storm in addition to tornadoes. Experts say the power outages extended so long due to the extensive damage caused by the storm. The storm's powerful winds combined with already saturated soil led to a large amount of trees uprooting and falling into power lines. Yeah, maybe they should actually be calling the storm races. Maybe they should actually be doing that. Says during restoration efforts, a NIPSCO vehicle was struck by gunfire in Gary. We saw that video. Authorities said the incident took place on Friday, August 14th, with no injuries being reported. NIPSCO said that restoration efforts were being temporarily paused at the time to ensure crew members' safety. I don't blame them. Folks, I got to tell you, man, people got to take control of their local area. You must police yourselves. And if you are in a all-black neighborhood, chances are it's probably a shithole. It probably is. But the mayor screamed racism. Guys, look at this. Look at this. This is the city officials of Gary, Indiana. The city officials. Look at this. Chief police, black. Fire chief, black. Chief communications officer, looks like he's a Latino. Chief of staff, black. Chief operating officer, black. Corporation counsel, black. All I see, folks, here is nothing but black people. And it makes sense considering, that 80% of the city is actually black. But they want to blame racism? Really? Building commissioner, black. Controller, black. City engineer, black. Everybody running this city is black. Every single one of them, for the most part. I mean, you can't make this up, man. You really can't make this up. Playing the race card, a storm hits, guess what? That's a natural disaster. And I've been through quite a few hurricanes out here, folks. And when Hurricane Harvey hit the Houston area, I mean, that was really an anomaly. It was more like Noah's Ark kind of rain. People lost a lot. And it took them years to actually recover. I didn't hear any screaming about racism. But only because Gary, Indiana is a majority black city. Racism. This is bullshit. If I work for this company, man, I don't know if you guys could actually pay me to go and restore power because I don't want to get shot at. Unreal. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.